All right, welcome. How are we doing? So we are getting slicker and slicker every day with this, and I thought I would just share with you a few things about what we're doing. So one of the things that I like to let people know about, or at least in my opinion, what's going on with it, is the fact that Facebook as we know it is, especially when it comes to building things on Facebook, it's dead. All right, I'm going to get this started right here. And so these people will know what's going on. There we go. And so if you have comments, or if you have any sort of questions, you can ask them here. Happy to bring them up on the screen. Happy to talk about anything for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chuck Ellis. I am the owner of Creator Cashflow Circle. We are helping you avoid the AdSense trap is what we're doing, because so many people are stuck in that way. And I just did a video where, and by the way, if you're tuning in here on TikTok, you are getting the altered version, I guess, of what I'm doing over here on my main platform, because that's where I like to talk to people, because they're the ones who need the help. So if you want to see what's going on over on this other platform, you can join us there, and it begins with a Y, and then it ends with a T, if you know what I'm saying. So you can go over there. But the thing about, and this is where I get to play with some of my toys here, but the thing that we're going to cover today is how, ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? So the thing that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to cover today, is the fact that, and let me get to the right page here. We're going to talk about Facebook groups versus school groups, or school communities is a better way to say it. Because Facebook, like I said, Facebook is dead when it comes to communities, man. It's just, it's all pay for play in Facebook. And so the thing that you want to understand is that here's a comparison between the two. Now, the first thing that I want to tell you about is, we all know what a Facebook group is, right? We all know that a Facebook group is a place where people, they're on Facebook, they find somebody who's got a group about a topic that they like, and then they join that group. Now, here's the problem with Facebook. There's many problems, actually. Posts are ranked by Facebook's algorithm, or Meta's algorithm now. Some posts are buried instantly. That's why I said this is a pay-for-play thing, where others get boosted. Now, the problem is you have no control. The thing I like about a platform like the one I'm not going to say on the TikTok over there, but the one that I am going to tell you about, the thing that is school is it's chronological, right? It's what we call equal reach feed. Everyone sees everything. There is no algorithm. There is no suppression, and there is no randomness to the whole thing. In other words, if you post something in that community, everyone will see it. Now, on Facebook, if you post something, 5% of your group members may see it. And right now, not that many people know about this platform called School. Not many people know about it. And the thing about School is there's already 25 million users. There's 200,000 communities on it. And Alex Hormozi, if you don't know who he is, Alex Hormozi owns 50% of it. And if you know who Alex Hormozi is, you know that that guy has a massive platform. So the things that he recommends to people, they tend to, people tend to listen to that. So I got involved with this platform before Alex by a couple of months, I believe, before he made his announcement. Now, Facebook groups, members get pulled in a bunch of different directions. That's why I don't really agree with Facebook, because members are distracted. They are distracted by ads. They are distracted by reels. They are distracted by DMs. They are distracted by the marketplace, right? They are distracted by friend notifications. Anything and everything that you can think of that would distract people from your community or your group, it's there for them on Facebook. And here's another thing you probably didn't know. Even if you have a group, again, not everybody's going to see everything that you post. But then the other thing is, because it's free and you're basically handing Facebook your audience, they're going to put people who have competing interests, shall we say, they're going to put ads for their communities, their Facebook groups, right inside of your Facebook group, and you have no control over that. I don't know. Did you know that? If you knew that, give me a shout out here in the comments, because most people don't know that that's going on. Okay? But you've got all these things. You know, you got these ads, and then you've got reels, and there's just so much there. And Facebook is a microcosm of social media in general, and I don't consider this to be social media. But now I do consider TikTok to be social media. Entertainment and distraction. Fluff. That's all it is, right? Whereas School is distraction free. No ads. No external content. People join, and because there's no competing with your group with ads and ways for them to click out and go elsewhere, they join, they stay focused, and they participate. And more importantly than that, they return way more often. Right? Way more often they return. Let's make sure. What's going on? So people are they're not allowed to advertise their groups on Schoolers. Now, what other people allow them to do is totally up to them. That depends on how they decide to set up their community, on what they're going to do. But overall, like in the grand scheme of things, self-promotion, like in the Schoolers community where all the owners hang out, that is strictly verboten, as they say in German. You cannot do it. So School. Now, the only thing that is similar is if you choose the School $9 hobby plan, they will recommend a couple of communities that might be closely related to yours. Right? Yeah, Facebook is so much worse for so many reasons. Facebook is incredibly worse. So there is a slight bit of that cross promotion, if you will, but there isn't the level of it that you see inside of Facebook. So now, and a way that you can avoid that completely is by doing the Pro plan, because the Pro plan does have some advantages. Now, when I got started with School, here's the thing that happened. There were no $9 plans. This thing started out, that's how old I am in school. This thing started out, and you had, and when they first started out, there was no way to even make a paid community. You could only make free communities back in the day. So there were people that were paying $99 a month to have a community, and they couldn't even directly monetize it. Now, about the time that I got involved, you could start to have paid communities. So what the philosophy was, and the only way you could do it, was to have 2 communities. So yes, you actually were paying almost $200, $198 to be exact. You were paying $198 for 2 communities every single month. You would have one free to introduce people to you, and then you would have your offer in another community. So you didn't have a choice. And so it's not, to me, it's not a lot of money. And to me, this $9 thing has been a godsend, but there are certain restrictions because you just don't have the same exact functionality that you do with the Pro plan. So the Pro plan allows you to have links. The Pro plan allows you to have a custom URL. The Pro plan allows you to eliminate those other schools that are listed on the side of your school. And the Pro plan allows you to have an affiliate program run by school. You can't do that. You can't do any of those things with the hobby plan. But if that's what you want to start off with, then that's totally cool. You know, you can absolutely do that, and it's not that big a deal. So so that's certainly something that you can that you can decide for yourself if if you want. Now, let's talk about unstructured content. The thing about Facebook groups is information lives on this timeline no matter what you do, right? No matter what you do, no matter how many times you refresh it and you say, I want to sort by new, it doesn't matter. There's this randomness, right, to the timeline, which is why nobody can see everything that you post. So it's like this endless timeline of just random stuff that shows up. It's hard to reference because their search algorithm is not that advanced. It's hard to organize, and it's hard to repurpose. That's a Facebook group. There's also no ability to build educational systems inside of a Facebook. The only educational system you can build inside of a Facebook group is going live on Facebook. That's it. That's the only one that you have. So school, by comparison, has community. And, well, you know what? Let me show it to you. Let me just show it to you. So school has community, right? Which is exactly like the Facebook group feed or your personal group feed. You've got the community, which is kind of like your message board. But you can see everything that I have ever posted inside, or anybody else has posted inside of my community. It all lives here. So this community only started in December of 25. And you can see I have 14 pages of information that people can go check out. Right? 14 pages. So that is a lot. That is a volume of activity that people can go check out. And it's also not only searchable by default, which is 3 pinned posts that people can always see, and then the rest of them are basically based on how active the post is. You can go to new, right? Because I just posted here saying, hey, join us live on YouTube. Or you can go to the top post, which are the ones that are getting the most activity. Like here, I posted this one and it was a current debate that I put up. And I don't know why it's not opening for me, but basically the current debate was what we talked about yesterday, which was high ticket for quick revenue or low ticket for patience-based growth. And PS high ticket is anything $1,000 over. Well, see, I had 29 comments on that post, and I had 6 members vote. So that was done by level of activity. Then you can post by the ones that are unread, right? So you have all these different ways that you can post. And that just makes things really, really simple, right? You can organize things by category, wins and shout outs and fun stuff and general discussion and announcements and community promos and questions, right? So you have all these different categories, or you can just sort it by all. So you have all these different things, right, that you can do. You can also search stuff. Let's see. Tell a story. All right. Story. Let me see what that was. Trying to find a post story. Let's try that. Yeah. So you can search keywords much more effectively here and find different posts, and you can find every single one of them. Because again, you can go back 14 pages with all that. And you can see not only community, but you can also see where that story lives. Like, I like to let people know what my story is and how I discovered this platform. And so that's my story, right? And this is your story, how you got started in something. But what you do is you have the ability to connect with other people with community. Another thing that you can do is you can set up these classrooms. And you can set up themes if you want them. You can see here I created some AI-based images on The Office because my group decided they wanted an Office theme. So we went with the Office theme. And so you have a start, right, where we talk about what this community is about, then why people would choose us, the tools, right, on how to build it, and then how to rank up. Yep, that's my story, and I am sticking to it. I like that. But yeah, that's so you've got community, you've got classroom, and then you have a calendar of events. There's no calendar of events on Facebook, none whatsoever. And so you don't have the ability to organize things. Like, I let people know every single day, at least this week, that I'm going live at 3 p.m., right? And then I have a workshop for my premium folks at 2 o'clock on Saturdays. And then next week, I'll be going back to a 2 p.m. live schedule. But they know that. And not only do they know that, but they can also find out when the next event is happening. So it's pretty cool because everything is organized, right? Unlike Facebook groups, which are just all over the place. So you have the modules, you have the lessons, you have the structured courses, you have progress tracking. That was one thing I didn't show you. Let me go back over here and I'll show you progress tracking. So you can go in here and you can check or uncheck these boxes, and then you can see levels of progress of the stuff that you've created and how much people are consuming it. So it's a really powerful tool for you to be able to check that stuff out, right? And then of course you have the ability to gate it, right? You can gate your education behind different tiers. Now, one of the things we never had, and we didn't even have for a long time after the Pro plan, was something called tiers. And tiers is where you can have 3 different levels of access to the information in your community or the people in your community. And you can have 3 different accesses on tiers, which is really cool because then you can actually start to monetize the information that you're doing. And what that is that's perfect for onboarding and education and curriculums. Now, badges do exist as far as gamification. Badges do exist on Facebook, but they don't mean anything. They don't lead to any kind of real reward, right? They're not tied to progress or rewards, and they're not customizable. School gives you complete gamification. Like, I can go into my community and I can go into my settings and I can go into, is it general? Where is it here? Oh, there it is. I can go into my leaderboards and I can change anything I want to change. And you can also see where people have gotten to the different levels inside of your community. So that's pretty cool, right? Because you have the ability to customize this stuff. And you can make it for you. You can give it different levels. You can put rewards at different levels. You can see that I have a leaderboard, and every day or every month I have a contest. And the people that are the most active on my leaderboards, they get a prize at the end of the month. And you can set this up and you can gamify this however you wish to do it. And unfortunately, you can't do anything like that on on Facebook. And as a matter of fact, the guys that engineered Skool, the owner and the founder of Skool, actually hired a bunch of gamers and gaming programmers to engineer Skool and structure Skool behind the scenes because he wanted a gamified feel. Because really, Skool is, for the most part, it's business. And he wanted to gamify business by giving people different point levels and different rewards and all that different type of stuff, unlocking different stuff. And so what it does is it drives consistent engagement and retention. So you have different levels, you have leaderboards, and you have unlockable content, all designed to help people continue to learn. Again, no learning or courses inside of Facebook groups. And, it's that old saying, you get what you pay for. And you don't have anything like that inside of a Facebook group. There are no lessons, no structured education, no tracking of progress. And what you need is a bunch of external tools that cost you more money to use. You need a Gumroad or a Kajabi. So Gumroad would be something that you would use in order to get paid. And Kajabi has that too. But these are much more expensive, complicated platforms to use. If we go back to Skool, you can see that it pretty much looks like a Facebook group, right? This is where you would post something inside of the group. So all you would have to do, and anybody, as long as the owner has decided anybody can post at any level, then anybody can post. They choose what category it's going to be on. They can add links if they're allowed. They can add polls. They can add emojis. They can add GIFs, which is one of my favorite things. And you can share attachments just like that, right? One of my also favorites is you can include YouTube, Loom, Vimeo, or Wistia links to share videos inside of your school. Here's another thing that you can do. Now, this is going to be like a look at a look at a look. But look, I joined this call. And look at that. You're seeing me live inside of my community because you can go live in communities, which means you don't need Zoom. You don't need StreamYard, right? You don't need any of these other things inside of that because you have the ability to go live. And you have all this ability at the $9 level. So what they're doing is they're delivering such massive, massive value for such a small amount of money. And then you get courses, you get the community, you get the calendar, you get the coaching. And it is all integrated by design so you don't have to go to a bunch of different places. Here's another thing. Meta controls everything you do with a Facebook group. Meta controls your social media. Meta controls your Instagram, your Facebook. TikTok controls your TikTok, right? And you have no ability to do any of this type of stuff on TikTok. But they all control all of that stuff. And to a lesser degree, even here on YouTube, I don't control my YouTube. I could wake up tomorrow and my YouTube is gone, right? I don't have any control over that. But they control your reach. They control the rules. They control who gets in and out of your group. Because if they decide they just want to ban somebody, they'll ban them. It doesn't matter, right? And they control your data. And they can shut down your group at any time because you don't own it. When you have a free community or a free group on Facebook, you are basically handing over the keys to them and say, you can do anything with my members. You can do anything with my content. You can decide what I'm allowed to post and what I'm not allowed to post. And that's not how a school community works, because you own your members, you own your contacts, you own your payment relationships. And so you have this stable, predictable, creator-first environment that you completely own. Now, we've already gone over how hard it is to search Facebook groups, but you just saw posts, lessons, comments, member profiles. All of that stuff is super easy to search and find specific things on Skool. There is absolutely no way, unless you integrate other programs, that you can charge for anything on Facebook, right? You can't accept money on Facebook, but once you link your banking, and it's totally encrypted, but once you link your banking materials, you have a payment processing center. And at the $9 level, let's go back there and I'll show you something here. Let's see, start your school with me. So at the $9 level, which is where most people start out, you have unlimited members, you have unlimited courses, you have unlimited videos, you have unlimited live calls, and you get a 10% transaction fee. So in other words, if you charge $50 a month for your group, they will charge $10 a month for each member, or total, right? So if you get $500, you're going to get $400. So for each member, there's a 10% transaction fee every month. And then I think there's a 30-cent transaction fee on top of that. Now, you can't have any sort of custom URLs. You can't have affiliates or anything like that. But what I always only had was this plan right here, the Pro Plan. And the Pro Plan has anything and everything you could possibly want. Unlimited members still, unlimited courses and videos and live calls. Your transaction fee drops down to 2.9%. And a 2.9% transaction fee means you're right in line with Stripe and all these others, but it all comes through Skool. Skool accepts your payments. And Skool automatically, within 14 days, they pay you out. There's not net 30 or net 60 or anything like that. Skool pays in a timely fashion. So within 14 days, you're getting your money, and it automatically comes to you. And then if you have affiliate programs, and if you belong to affiliate programs, as that money accrues, you can just cash out anytime that you want. You can get custom affiliates, because if you look at mine is Cashflow Circle. Now, if you don't have a custom affiliate, it would say like Cashflow Circle -3521 or something like that. So you wouldn't have that flexibility. And you can have an affiliate program. This is one of my favorite things, and it's one of the best ways that I have made side income, and I've helped people in my group make side income. Look at it. Look how easy this is. You go over to your settings inside of your community, and you click on, do I want it to be this at no affiliate commissions? Do I want it 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, or up to 50%? And by offering recurring commissions, you can encourage your existing members to recommend you to other groups. And this is all these reasons are why this is so much better than relying on AdSense and getting paid for views. It's just a completely different model. Like I've said in videos before, it's the same information you're sharing in video, whether it's woodworking or accounting or drafting or painting or crafting or whatever it is you want, cooking, doesn't matter. Whatever it is you want to make videos about. But you target the people that only want to see those videos, and then they get to know you and like your content, and then they want to spend more time with you. They want more access to you. Thus why you have your own private community that you own. So you have all these added benefits, right? Recurring subscription, auto member access, auto member removal. As soon as somebody's credit card fails, they're automatically removed. You don't have to remove them. Now you can send them a note and say, hey, your credit card declined. But if they don't pay in a timely fashion, they're automatically removed and they're not getting free access to something that they shouldn't. You know, not all these extra tools you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about programming. You don't have to worry about websites. Because at the end of the day, this page right here, it is your website. Because it tells people what they're going to get inside of your community. It tells them who it's for. It tells them the proof of why they should listen to you. And then inside what they're going to get. And if you offer that proof, promise, plan concept with people, it becomes very clear what it is they're going to get. You also have a search criteria. And if you want, sorry about that. And if you want that, watch this. So I can put in creator. I'm probably not going to be the very first one because there are a lot of creator groups. But let's see where I show up. I'm probably on page 2 here. I'm probably not on page 1 because my group isn't as active as other groups. Let's see, where am I? Am I on page 4? Yeah, I'm on page 4. And so my ranking in my category is about 1,700. But let's try YouTube. And there's a lot of YouTube groups here, right? There's a lot of YouTube groups. And there's some really good ones with some people that are much better at YouTube than I would be. But that's one of the keywords that I search for. But I'll tell you what, let's go to another keyword. And it's all based on keywords, right? And things people would be searching for, such as, look at that. Under AdSense, I am number 2 because what I'm trying to help you do is avoid AdSense. I'm trying to help you avoid worrying about AdSense. So, how long have we been doing? Oh, we've been at this a while. So let me just kind of wrap this thing up here, right? So all that's possible with no extra tools, right? And the problem with Facebook groups, people multitask. They're distracted. They're mentally in social mode, not learning mode. When somebody goes into a classroom on school, it's learning, it's focused. People come in with intent, and they reward the contributions. And then Facebook's got reputation problems, right? Too many ads, privacy issues, too much politics, spam. You know, it's like this old MySpace feel. School is clean, modern. It's got a positive brand. It feels like community classroom. It never feels like social media because there's no drama. There's no politics. People in there are in there to accomplish things, so they don't have time to be arguing with one another. You never see drama inside of school. Again, it's this fragmented experience. If you want a course, you got to go to another platform. If you want a calendar, you got to go to Zoom or Google Calendar. If you want to chat, you got to go to Messenger or Discord. If you want a payment, you got to go to Stripe or somewhere else. If you want to go from Facebook to Facebook groups, it's another step that you have to take. School is everything, all in one. Community, courses, calendar, chat, everything. Engagement, it's all in one. And so what it does is, because you see everything that goes on at any given time, it creates this daily return loop. Let me show you what I mean. Let me go into mine. Now, you see that? These are activity levels. And see, so this is what I'm talking about. They gamify it. So you can see how many activities you had in a given day. And if you get 10 or more activities on the whole platform in a given day, you, for 30 days in a row, you get this little fire emoji. I lost mine a little while back. But you get your little fire emoji. And it's just like a little status symbol, right? It tells people that you're active on the platform. So it's really powerful to have that thing. But it creates this daily loop where you want to return. And then once you want to return, and you start getting the notifications and you get the rewards and you get to start unlocking rewards and things like that, and you gamify the whole process, it's just a really cool place. And like I said, 25 million users, 1 million people a day are hitting this page right here. 1 million people a day are hitting this page. That's pretty cool, because they have a high likelihood of finding you. So what that does is that allows them to search for the groups that they want, right? So there is a link in my bio if you want to check out mine, or if you just want to click another link in my bio about starting your own school, you can do that. And you'll come up to this page right here. If you don't have a school account, it's going to ask you for one first, but it's like getting a Gmail account. Then you create your hobby, and then when I see that you used my link, I see it would say Chuck Ellis invited you. When I see that you use my link, I'm going to reach out to you and say, hey, thanks for using my link. As a thank you, I'm going to schedule with you a free one-on-one where I'll help you set up your school community. And that's just my way of saying thank you for doing that. Okay? So that is what we're talking about. That is why this is such a powerful tool. And it's why I am such a huge fan of this powerful tool, because it just makes things super simple, right? It is super simple to use. It is simple to create on, and it just makes everything so slick. You know, it's one of my favorite things about this whole thing is how, where are we going here? Where's my little buttons? My little buttons aren't working. My little buttons aren't working. I don't know why. I don't know why my little buttons aren't working, but anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But I hope you found this valuable. I hope you will check things out. And if you have any questions, drop them in any of my videos. Now, see, this is where, there it is. So if you have any questions, drop them in any of the videos. I'll be happy to answer them. And I will see you tomorrow.